And the deal is that they call this the Havana syndrome, okay? And what it means is it's a some sort of directed energy weapon of sorts. And, like we said back in the day, it used to, at first they said it was some sort of audio weapon, it's a low frequency audio that did damage to people, that actually did brain damage and causes long-term, all kinds of terrible stuff, right? Well, and that was in Cuba. And then they also reported that it was in an embassy in Cuba, an embassy in Russia, I believe. And then also, I think we heard recently that it was happening around Syria as well. So I don't know. Like, these are the things that as the news cycle kind of chunks these things out, we look at it and we remember. Like I said, our memory doesn't have to be a 24-hour news cycle. I recall when this came out and they said it was an audio weapon, and then they said it was a microwave weapon, and now they're calling it a directed energy weapon of sorts, this Havana syndrome. But okay, so back to the CBS News article. Now this is a little bit more scary, and this is what I was talking about specifically with this particular thing, this weapon, whatever this thing is. Check it out. Headline reads this: U.S. investigates suspected energy attack near the White House. Yes, not just a White House, the actual White House. You know where the president lives? Yeah. So crazy stuff. Look at this. So this was updated April 30th, 2021, yesterday. Law enforcement agencies are investigating 2 possible directed energy attacks on government employees on U.S. soil. All right, we're straight from the article here. One of the alleged energy attacks, actually, let's go so you can see what I'm reading. One of the alleged energy attacks occurred on the south side of the White House in November and is believed to have sickened a White House aide. That incident followed a similar one in 2019 in a Virginia suburb, which reportedly injured an aide walking her dog. All right. The alleged victim's conditions are not known, but the White House confirmed that President Biden has been briefed on one of the incidents. Senators are demanding answers on the mystery attacks. Quote, "There are personnel who have been harmed. We need to make sure they get the care and benefits they need," New Hampshire Senator Jeanne Shaheen said. Sounds like something a politician would say. Director of National Intelligence Avril Haines said leaders are focused on the critically important issue. And in the other, when we talked about this maybe a week, 10 days ago, something like that, they hadn't actually announced that these attacks were taking place on U.S. soil. But in this case, this is exactly what's happening. They're saying that so right on the White House premises, just outside, they had an aide stricken, and by whatever this is, whatever this directed energy weapon is, and then again in the suburbs in Virginia, another government aide walking their dog was also afflicted by this. And so now this is a big problem, right? Like we've talked about, weapons that are used to I don't know, make people sick. You know what I'm saying? Wink, wink. When you make people sick, and you get a whatever this thing was the past year or so. But this thing in particular is, like I said, horrifying, because you can't really tell what's happening, where it's being deployed, when it's happening, and then it causes long-term damage to these people. Like there's some guy, there was an article a while back where they were talking about specifically a guy who was hit by this. I think it was in Cuba when he got hit down there at the embassy, the U.S. embassy. But I guess it's literally ruined his life. The guy has memory problems now. There's a lot of things, like he cannot function in regular society anymore. And I think that's part of the problem with this, is that, like I said, it's exactly what we said. It's a silent weapon for a quiet war is the term there that we used when we did the other show on Troubled Minds. But specifically here is that if these attacks are happening on U.S. soil, we have another problem entirely, don't we? And so the question is, who's behind this, right? I think that's the biggest question. And when we first talked about this, not very first, but recently on the show on Troubled Minds, I was speculating that they were claiming it was Russia. Okay, that's what they claimed. But my speculation was that It could be anybody. It could be anything. These could be non-state actors. So it's difficult to tell. We don't know how big this machine is, how big the weapon is. Could it fit in a suitcase? Could it fit in a lunch pail? You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the types of questions that need to be answered at this point. Like, what is this? Is it, somebody suggested it was maybe like a satellite weapon, kind of blasting people from space? I mean, who knows? Like, and this is exactly what we're talking about, and why this stuff is critical, and it should be top of the news cycle, in my opinion, but it's not. For whatever reason, it just is not. Thanks, guys, for resubbing up. Thank you, 40s out there for the bits. I appreciate that a lot, guys. Yeah, it does help pay the bills for the show, and there are bills for the show. So thank you so much. Okay, so let's go. So that's again, we'll keep an eye on this as it develops, because this is brand new, but this is now happening on U.S. soil, and it's happening to government employees. Okay, and that's really part of the problem, right? That's really a big deal here when you talk about anything, really. I mean, attacks on U.S. soil, right? And not only that, to government employees. It's something to watch. It's something to pay attention